Welcome to Bariatric Expert, the podcast that delves deep into the world of bariatric surgery and nutrition. I'm your host, Sheri Burke, a registered holistic nutritionist with a specialization in bariatric nutrition. I've been working closely with bariatric clients since 2008, helping them navigate their journey towards a healthier and more fulfilling life. Whether you're considering bariatric surgery, have already undergone the procedure, or are simply interested in learning more about this transformative field, this podcast is for you. So hi. So today we have an extraordinary guest with us. Her name is Stacia Caldwell, hailing from Arkansas. Stacia underwent vertical sleeve gastrectomy in September of 2021. So that makes this her almost 2-year surgery today. Thanks for coming, Stacia. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on, Sheri.
We're really honored to have you here. So I just want to jump right in. The name of your episode is Traveling to Mexico for Bariatric Surgery. So we all know, setting up your surgery is a significant step in the bariatric journey. So could you share your experience with us? How did we meet? Because I'm your patient facilitator and your RHN nutritionist. So I want you to explain to our listeners how we met.
This is actually the first time me and you have actually talked face to face.
I know. Yeah, I like your hair like that. That's really nice.
Thank you. I love it. Short and out of my.
I know. I'm considering the big chop too. Yeah.
Well, my hair is naturally curly like yours.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
But living in Arkansas, sometimes the last few weeks it's been over 100 degrees, and
gross.
And then it's very humid here. So our heat indexes have been like 115. So
I know you have a really rough summer. You have really, really hot weather. Right?
We do. We have really...
I'm cold this morning. It's like chilly here this morning. So our summer's over.
Are you in Canada right now?
Yeah.
Is that where you?
Yeah, I'm in Canada right now. And I'll be going to Panama for 6 months in November.
Okay. So is that where you go when it's cold in Canada? Is that where you?
Normally I go to Mexico. Normally we spend more time in the Riviera Maya, Akumal area. But we just wanted to try something different. So we went last year for a month to Panama, really liked it, and decided we're going to go back for 6 months.
Okay, well, good. I mean,
we work online, right? So
yeah, we would love it if we could just leave Arkansas for a few months. But our cooler weather is not as long as y'all's are.
Yeah, yeah, we get some really awful weather. It's like no,
I don't envy, really.
No, this is why we need to do the snowbird thing. We really do. It's just the winter's too dark, too depressing, too long. And then I lived like 25 years outside of Canada, in Greece and Cyprus and Mexico. So coming back here 10 years ago, this winters are brutal.
Yeah. Well, we can have some rough winters, but it doesn't linger for months and months and months. So
I've been to Arkansas. I've been to Fort Smith.
Well, that is actually the area where I'm from. I am from south of there, but I'm from the Fort Smith area. So that's my old stomping grounds.
So do you remember the Holiday Inn in Fort Smith? It's a nice one. Is it still there?
Yes. Is it downtown?
Yeah.
Was it the one down? Yes, it's still there.
It's really pretty, that one. It's got like a big round lobby center, like it's open. Yeah. So I rented a car in Tulsa, and I drove to McAllister, Poto, and some couple of small towns, and we did some the Robert something community center in Poto. I remember it was the first week it opened. Robert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Verbunden and I went there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting because where we lived before we moved here, we're from Arkansas. Me and my husband are from Arkansas, but we lived in a little town called Arcoma, Oklahoma.
I know people from there as well. Not only you, I know people from there.
Yes, you do, because one of the ladies was one that kind of encouraged me, or she was one that introduced me to you. You were her facilitator too, Brianna Farmer.
Oh, Brianna Farmer. Yes, I remember Brianna Farmer. Yes, of course. And you're from the same town? You know each other through work or friendship?
Through mutual friends, her family, her and her family, her uncle and his wife are really good friends of ours. My husband pastored a church there, and he pastored too. So that's, we've known those families for many years now.
And she
So
was
yeah.
the one, so you knew that she had gone for surgery in Mexico, or how did this happen?
So I knew that I was looking at doing Mexico because my insurance here in Arkansas would not cover it. No matter what comorbidities I had, they would not cover it, and I didn't have $15,000 for surgery. So I did some research, but I knew that Brianna went to Mexico, and I just reached out to her and asked her who she used, and she said, Dr. Rabunin, and she said, make sure you go through Sheri Burke. So
I think we met
that
up on
took me
Facebook.
I think we did. I think I probably did. It's I can't remember, to be honest with you. It's been a couple years now. So, but yeah.
And how long? So from the time we first met online until the time that you actually scheduled your date, how long did that take? How long was that process?
Once I actually scheduled the surgery and set a date and paid my deposit, it was just a couple months. But I think I had scheduled it at one point before that. But something happened and I was not able to. And then I scheduled, and I want to say it was around July. Or maybe even middle of July or 1st of August. I was ready to get it done, and I knew if I didn't do it right then that I might back out. So it was a couple months, I believe.
So I was really glad to be part of your journey. So moving forward, you chose to have your surgery in Mexico. So tell us a little bit about your experience there and how it felt to go through such a significant procedure in a different country.
The experience there was a really good experience. The way it's you go about facilitating that and that taken care of was very easy. Flying out there, getting a car and getting there, but besides some language barriers, it was a very nice experience. Being there, even accommodating my husband, who was my partner, my support that went there with me. The facilities were nice, and I was very pleased with it because you hear horror stories.
Right, of course.
Or people try to tell you horror stories. Don't go to Mexico, don't do this. But I would recommend it to anybody.
I believe that you flew in the day before surgery. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
Right. And then you spent the first night, but the transportation picked you up, took you to the Grand Hotel. You spent a night at the Grand, and then the next day you were picked up at 9 a.m., taken to the hospital where you had your labs, your EKG, your chest x-ray. You had surgery. You spent 2 nights in the hospital. Is that right?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes our patients will spend a second night at the recovery center, but I believe you spent 2 nights at the hospital, the Obesity Goodbye Hospital. Perfect.
I did.
So it's really and it's really inspiring, your story, because now, drum roll, I want to hear a little bit about your surgery weight, your highest weight, your lowest weight, where you are today.
So, before I've always struggled with weight most of my life, and I'm only 4 feet 11 and a half inches. I'm very short. I'm not very tall. My highest weight was 298. Almost 300 pounds. I was as round as I was tall, as you would say. So I had, gotten to my surgery weight that day was, I believe, 262. My lowest weight I got to was 153.
153.
My goal was 150. Yes. I was pretty much at my goal weight. I am now at 180.
180. So it has small regain.
Yes, I have.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
That's important for us to hear about as well. And that regain occurred. I think that you were having a stressful time, aging parents, right?
Yes. I lost my mother about 16 months ago. And that had a very significant impact on me. During that time, after she passed, I did get a job and I worked for about 6 months. So that kept me busy. And I was a cook for a senior center in town, and that kept me very busy. But then I left that job, and I'm back at home where I've done most of my work at. I've been a stay-at-home mom.
Hardest job in the world.
It is. I'm very blessed that the Lord allowed me to do that job. The loss of my mother really, and it still affects me today because it's only been 16, 17 months.
Yeah.
So that's been a big issue for me.
Yeah, and that stress and that sorrow can make us eat again. I lost my mom last November, and so I know exactly how you're feeling and how everything, our diet that is so important. It seems to we lose track of it when we're sad, right?
We do, and when that's been the main. Obviously, like I said, that's been a significant loss for me. And just I still eat fairly well. I've created good habits, but I have a trouble with late night snacking, and that's a really hard issue, for a big issue for me. I do really good during the day, but supper time comes around, and I'll eat a good supper because I even try to cook good meals for my family and eat fairly good. But then
snack attack,
the sweets and the sugar and the chocolate starts calling my name, and that's always been an issue for me all my life.
So then let's talk strategies, right? So let's talk. There's 30-pound a regain happening. Let's talk about some strategies, because I know a lot of us are in the same boat. I'm in that same boat as you right now too, where I do really well during the daytime, and then at nighttime I tend to start to want to eat everything. So let's talk about some things that we can do to get that weight off.
Okay.
So you have a good diet, right? And I know that right now, I know that right now you're not exercising. Is that right?
No, I'm not.
So
I'm very busy. I'm very active and I'm very busy, but I don't, intentionally, I was walking, but it's so hot now that I don't even, attempt to go outside.
So let's call this,
walk.
let's make this into our motivational weekend, because it's Friday today, and saying, getting prepared for Monday, right? To keep each other accountable, to keep everyone who wants to join us accountable as well. I would say there's two things I'd like for you, and I'll join you. I exercise. I do exercise, so I stay active. Now I'm playing a lot of golf. I like to bike. I'm always trying to be. Actually, I have a golf injury. I hurt my back.
Oh no, that's not good.
Not good. So let's shut down our kitchen at a certain time of night. So what time do you normally eat dinner at?
Usually around 6. It kind of varies when my husband gets home, but it's around 6.
So why don't we shut our kitchen down after dinner? So by 6:30, 7 o'clock, the kitchen gets shut down, right? And we can drink, for example, lemon with water, warm water, or a cup of tea, or maybe a sugar-free iced tea, decaf iced tea, but no food goes in the mouth after 6 p.m.
Right.
So I'll do this as well, because I think that this is we've discovered what your hard spot is. It's not during the day. It's not by it's not by not being active, because regular exercise is wonderful, but that 30 minutes of exercise, it's not going to make up for a whole day of being inactive. So having an active lifestyle is perfect. You don't even have to incorporate your regular, at this moment, the regular exercise. Let's just focus on shutting the kitchen down. Do you think it's something that you could do?
Definitely. I can. sticking with it, uh, can be challenging at times.
Right. But let's make an
but
effort
no,
for a week. Let's try for a
okay,
week. 1 week,
yeah,
Monday to Friday, kitchen gets shut down. And then we can start that, me some snacking on Saturday night and then Sunday night once again to see how you feel, your energy levels, to see if the scale starts moving.
okay,
And I think that you're going to find that you're not as hungry the next day as well.
okay, yeah,
So,
well,
but at the same time, Stacia, I have to say that you lost a total of 150 pounds, my friend.
I did.
150 pounds.
That's
Like, hello, hands up.
I know.
Like,
Exactly.
way to go. That's fantastic.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you had a 30-pound regain. You lost your mother. It was a very stressful time. These
Yes.
bumps, these situations happen in life. So
Yes,
let's take control of it and see what we can do over the next week. Just that small,
Okay.
nothing else. Everything
Huh.
stays the same, but the snacking button gets
Okay.
turned off after dinner.
Okay.
And I'm
I
reaching
think that's
across the
fair.
screen to shake your hand. It's a deal? Okay, it's a
It's
deal.
a deal. It's a deal. It's a deal. I can do it.
So I know it's remarkable how you embraced this challenge and you still continue to move forward and you still continue to share in the group. And so I want to know that you're a shining example of somebody that I think is an absolute bariatric success story.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I know that you're very hard on yourself. So I want to tell you, congratulations.
Yes, I'm very hard on myself.
Right.
Very, very hard on myself. And I do forget that I've lost 150 pounds. And even though I have gained, life is what it is.
It
Life
is.
is full of heart.
Exactly. And I'm just, your story is inspiring, and I'm grateful that you shared it with us today. You took a moment to sit down and talk to us because we can all understand really clearly that you are a shining star in this community.
Well, thank you. If my story can influence or other people to want to take that journey, I'm happy to share it. Because I do want people to understand how much it has changed my life. Even though I've had a regain, I still feel better than I have in a long time. Weight has always been an issue for me most of my life. But I got to a point where I was not happy. I hurt all the time. I didn't want to do anything. Just general housework and trying to do those things was a chore. My feet hurt. Like I said, I'm not very tall, so all that extra weight was really, and I had high blood pressure, had diabetes, and I could see my life going down a path that I did not want to go to. I'm 46 years old. I did not want to be even 50 and not able to enjoy life. But now I can. And I'm able to do things I haven't wanted to do in a long time.
Your friends, when they see you today, are they not like mouth wide open, shocked and amazed?
Yes, they are, especially the ones that didn't see me. And right after surgery, 6 months after surgery, or, even a year after surgery, a lot of them wouldn't recognize me. I would say something and then they'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't recognize you. And, in a way that's very encouraging, but then I thought, oh my goodness, I had put on so much weight and, was miserable. But yeah, a lot of them don't recognize me.
What about the
They do now.
medications? Are you still on any medications for diabetes?
No, I am off my metformin and I'm off my high blood pressure. So no, I don't take any of those medicines, and it's all controlled. By watching what I eat. And
Yep.
Yes. And my mother was diabetic, so
Mine also.
Yeah.
Since she
and that
was
is
45.
Yeah, my mom might have been around the same age when she was diagnosed. And, she had lost a lot of weight just naturally by taking medicine, but she didn't control her very well.
Yeah, mine also.
So I didn't want to, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do, as I reached 60, 70 years old, when I reached those ages. I want to be healthy.
Sitting here today at 53 almost. I'm 53 in 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just I want to be as healthy as possible moving forward. I don't want to have those health issues. But I think that
No.
also our moms didn't they didn't know that they could control their diabetes so well with food, I think. I think only today that research is really out there.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I agree. 'Cause, I hear a lot of people that are diabetics, that they still, eat the sweets and eat the cake, and they just take their medicine.
Yeah.
And that's not the right way to look at that. Because, if you can just lose the weight, and most people are surprised when I say, I was diabetic, I consider myself no longer diabetic. The medical community kind of still considers me.
Well, it's in remission, right? It's considered in remission, and
Yeah.
it will stay in remission as long as you're eating correctly. It's going to stay in remission. So I love this plan of ours, our no snacking plan, starting on no evening snacking. No.
Okay. Yes,
Bill?
I think that's a good idea. 'Cause I do want to get back to where I was at.
And you have to be encouraged, because I see you and I'm like, oh my God, you did so well. And even when you're 150 pounds, you're still hard on yourself.
Very much so.
Enough.
Very much so.
It has to stop. Life is too darn short. It has to stop.
It is. Yeah, I agree. And even, I got to 153 and I could not get those last 3 pounds off. I was hard on myself then because I still didn't reach my goal weight, but I really did.
You did. Of course you did. You see the numbers. We get so caught up in those numbers.
They do. And, so yeah, I am very, very hard on myself in all areas of my life, not just my weight. In any area of my life, I'm very hard on myself.
But today, I think you should take some time today and just say, yeah, I'm awesome. And I lost 150 pounds. I had a small regain and I'm going to get back into control. If you don't lose any more weight, you're fine where you are, but you don't want to continue gaining, right? So show yourself over the next couple of weeks that you are in control of you. You're in control. You're in control, right?
Yes.
I'll do the same.
I am.
My eating has been bad.
It's been pretty bad.
Me too.
The sweets and the pastries, and
okay, but what about this? Why don't we prepare some high volume, low calorie snack?
Okay.
For the daytime, but this is not going to happen at nighttime, right? Because at nighttime the kitchen's getting shut down.
Yes.
So
when you say what are you?
Google protein fluff. There is a recipe. It tastes really good. It's like a pudding jello. It's very airy. And I'll send you a couple as well.
Okay,
that I can find online.
That.
I'm a chipaholic. I'm a Lay's salt and vinegar chip addict.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Yeah. Mine is more kind of, it is the sweets, and I say chocolate, but yet sometimes chocolate doesn't taste good to me. I think sometimes it's just the sweets that just kind of call my name. And just wanting, and a lot of it for me in the evening is not necessarily wanting to eat. It's just a habit.
Yes, of course. That's why I'm saying let's break the habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I lost the weight, it was just, that's what I would do.
Oh yeah, me
I
too. Mindless Netflix and food. Yeah, it's really hard. And that's what I think will happen is, if I want to stop snacking, I have to stop watching TV because it's a danger zone for me.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't watch TV. So that's, it's just, I think it's just getting in my mind that I like food.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the fact that I like food, even though if I eat it, it makes my belly hurt and it
Yeah.
doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like, I'll still eat it, even though, because I'm still, even though, I'm almost 2 years out, my stomach, I still can't eat a whole lot.
Of course not.
Um,
I know, I understand that you still have a lot of restriction. I know. And so when you have that regain, right? Then I know that it's not because you're eating large quantities. It's not the quantities.
Yeah.
But then look at it. When you're 150 pounds, you need a lot less calories to maintain your 150 pound body than at 200 pounds, right? So the lower you go, the less you get to eat. This is the unfortunate part also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Well, and surgery really, did help me. And I still am not as infatuated with food as I was before, because it did take that away from me. Because you're not able to eat, in those early stages much at all.
Yeah, and still, your portion size is still really small. Like your stomach is, it's going to stretch, but you have a little tiny stomach right now still. Yeah. So you want to use that tool now. You want to use that tool when it's still there, because eventually it's going to lose the restricted ability. It's going to stretch. So now's the time, to put some new habits in place, right? So we call it.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Late night snacking is the worst, right? That's the worst.
It is.
Yeah, because you feel guilty, you shame yourself. You wake up in the morning, feel bad about yourself, or maybe in the middle of the night with a carb hangover. And and then in the morning, you're ravenous hungry because your blood sugars are out of whack, right?
Uh-huh.
So
yes.
So I think that by shutting it down and saying, okay, this in the evening, I'm not going to snack. Nobody wakes up in the morning and eats jelly beans. It's not a dangerous time, the mornings, right?
No.
But at nighttime, the gummy bears, and so if you could eat maybe more healthy during the day, shut the kitchen down. Well, I'm saying this for me. I'm giving this advice for me, but
well, but I'm listening too,
right? Because it's actually we're the same. It's the same. Like so many people have that, or they eat like perfect from Monday to Friday. The weekend comes and they go insane. I'm really good all day. The night comes and I'm terrible.
Yeah. It's I undo everything I did during the day.
Yep,
exactly. By my nighttime stacking, because I now I eat healthier. I do choose the vegetables, and I love to snack on or eat cauliflower with my tuna fish. I love, and tuna fish is my go-to because
me too.
It's good protein, and groceries are so high right now.
Oh, I know. I shop terrible. I shop the sales right now,
and I try to. Definitely you have to.
When you see a piece of meat in the supermarket and it's $35, does it not shock you?
It shocks me. Because I'm trying to feed at least, I've got a 20-year-old and then a 16-year-old that plays football. I
have a 20-year-old son who's bulking right now. He's bulking. Imagine.
Yeah. Yes. And so they're eating a lot, it's a good thing that I don't eat as much probably because they take what I don't eat.
Right? I know. Wait, I'm going to get a picture of us.
All right.
Wait. There we go. Thank you.
I so wish I could meet you in person someday.
We will.
And one of these days, maybe I can. I'm really interested in at some point doing some. I would love to have some reconstructive surgery, basically. And nobody's listening to this now. It's just you, right?
No one's listening. No, my son doesn't listen. He's like, so once he sees this, then he cuts it.
He's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. My belly, I've had 2 C-sections, gaining a lot of weight. I would love for that to be gone. That's my biggest thing. But, finances are tight.
I know. You want to rob a bank? I drive a really fast getaway car.
That's right. Let's do it. That's about the only way I can do it.
I know. It's really expensive. Because when you talk about cosmetic surgery, we're talking about like a lower body lift, 7,700. Breast lift, 5,500. Breast lift with implants, 5,900. But it's not only that, it's the flights are so expensive right now. It's insane.
Yeah.
And the accommodations, like when you're there, you need to spend at least like a good week to 10 days in Tijuana. The aftercare facility is great, but it's $170 a night with 3 meals included. But it adds up, right?
That adds up. Definitely. And I don't think my husband would go for that at this moment in time. And I don't, because I can't. But I'm still better off than where I was.
I don't want to do the plastic surgery stuff because the recovery. I've got to see so many people go through recovery, and it's hard. It's really hard. It's a really hard recovery, right?
Well, and I can imagine, because I would love to have my little stomach hang over and my inner thighs,
Yeah.
And I can't imagine the recovery and the pain you go through.
I guess when the pain of your body part hurting you so much, like, or so being so depressed about it, it outweighs that other physical recovery, and that then it's time. Then it's time.
Yeah. Now, gaining some weight back has not helped. But we're gonna do our
I have to. I can't continue like this. I don't want to get diabetes either.
Well, Sheri, I do too, and I tend to forget that I have resources at my disposal through you and through the group. I tend to think, well, no, I've got this on my own. I've got this in control, and I don't. Because I find myself just, that one little Hershey's Kiss will be okay, but that one Hershey's Kiss turns into 10.
Right.
And
I'm the same.
And it's not beneficial to me. I am much better if I cut it all off.
Yes.
Somebody will say, well, you can just have one. No, I can't.
No, I can't. If I have a bad meal, I fall right down the hole. I go right into it. I'm like, pasta, bread, potatoes, I don't care. Give it all to me. And just that one bad meal will derail me. So
definitely, it will me too. So if I have a day, or where we go to church at has, on Sunday we have our morning service, and then we have the potluck lunch, and then we go into our evening service, and we're done for the day. Well, I'm from the South. You have a bunch of women that know how to cook, and they bring these good dishes, and I usually do pretty good at. Sometimes I try to bring, my own stuff that's with protein and that I can eat, because sometimes there's not anything there really. But then they bring those good homemade desserts, and I think, oh well, I'll just have a little bite, and sometimes it is just a little bite. But my problem is when I get home, nobody's watching, and that's been a big thing for me. I've always kind of been a closet eater.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I understand. We go see the movies every Tuesday. Every Tuesday we go see a movie, and we'll split a huge monster thing of popcorn during the movies.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to go to the movies because I'm like, I don't want to eat that darn popcorn. I don't want to eat it.
Yeah. We went to a movie a couple weeks ago, and we didn't even get anything, which was good because, well, it's expensive for one.
Yeah. Yeah. And $20 for a Coke, and we share a Coke and a popcorn, and it costs us $20.
Yeah. Now sodas is still something I don't drink.
Good.
Just because I don't like the way they taste.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Perfect. So I don't do, I've tried, I kind of took a little sip of a Coke Zero, and I was like, why did I even get that? Because it just did not, it hurt, and it burnt going down.
Yeah.
Now I had my gallbladder removed about 6 weeks ago,
So
I had to have that.
Digestive enzymes are going to be your friend right now. Ox bile.
Okay. Ox bile.
Ox bile is the specific, in what it is actually bile from an ox. That's what it is.
Right.
And what it does, it helps you break down any fat in your food, because your gallbladder is this little purse that sits under your liver. Then your liver spits out bile, and the gallbladder holds the bile. And then when you eat some fatty food, it spits the bile into the fatty food to absorb it. You don't have a gallbladder, so you don't have a little gallbladder purse. So your liver is leaking bile, but sometimes not at the right time. So if you take the ox bile before you eat your food, you're going to have such an easier time digesting it because it's going to help you digest it. It's natural, it's not expensive, and it works like a charm.
Okay. All right. Well, do you recommend do you have a...
Go on Amazon. Go on Amazon and find the one that gets the best reviews.
Okay. I'll do that because...
do you have acid reflux? Do you have a reflux right now?
It depends on what I eat. It's just worse with certain things, but I have had a little bit more reflux since, and a little more heartburn.
Yeah.
No, that's not much reflux. It's the heartburn.
Yeah.
That I've had noticed more since I've had my gallbladder removed. But I was ready to have my gallbladder removed.
Oh, sure.
I really needed to have it removed before I had my weight loss surgery. But I was functioning okay with it, but it just come to a point where I was like, no, it's time. And I'm thankful I did. But
absolutely.
So yeah.
You're feeling
I still have heartburn.
Your liver will learn when to drop that bile. It's going to go back into sync again. But for especially for 6 months, it takes time to get, and also for your hydrochloric acid to build up again so you're able to digest better. So that's one of the common issues post gallbladder removal is anything fatty can give you really bad heartburn and indigestion. So help your body break it down.
And I still struggle with nausea at times.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's from the weight loss surgery or, even before the gallbladder, I still struggled with some of that. There's just certain things I still can't eat many tomatoes, and I love tomatoes.
That might
tomatoes
go
out of the garden.
So there you go. So another recommendation will be digestive enzymes. So if you dig into the world, start with the ox bile, and then from there, for example, I can't eat beans, kills me. So if I'm going to eat beans or legumes, I take Beano. Beano is a digestive enzyme that helps break down the carbohydrate in the bean. For example, people who can't eat dairy, they take lactate because lactate is the digestive enzyme to help break down the lactose, right?
Yeah.
So the ox bile is the same thing. Now look at something to help you break down. It might be Beano might be the right enzyme, but if it's vegetables, it could be papain, which comes from papaya. So there's different. Yes, these are natural and they're not going to harm you and they're not expensive. And it's not like, because I see it like this. If you're taking Prilosec or omeprazole, you're taking it and it's putting out the digestive flame, right? The hydrochloric acid, which you need that battery acid in your stomach in order to digest food. So you can't digest your food. Yeah. So the next time you eat, same thing happens. If you get addicted to taking this medication and then you start having nutrient deficiencies because you don't have enough hydrochloric acid to break down the food in your stomach. So instead of killing the hydrochloric acid in the stomach, why not increase it through digestive enzymes so you don't get acid reflux when you eat foods, right?
So the ox bile, where you would suggest that I start taking...
Yes, start with the ox bile. Yeah, and that ox bile...
I'm sorry,
it's going to... No, don't worry about it. It's going to support your digestion instead of putting it out. It supports it.
Yeah. Well, because I take, actually it's Protonix is what I take. I guess it's pantoprazole, and then I also take Pepsid. I have to take Pepsid.
So let's try to start adding and pulling back at the same time, because if you just take away the acid reflux medication right away, you're gonna experience relapse with your acid reflux.
Yes. So add the ox bile and
pull back.
I'm with you. I made beans the other night for my family. We're Southern. We like our beans and cornbread. And I don't normally eat it, but that night, I had a few, but I couldn't eat many of them beans. And I love beans.
Me too. And I can't. But it's not worth it. I'm sick for like 3 days. I'm like, no, I can't.
And I was too. And I love cornbread.
Yeah, me too.
So
me too.
But yeah. So, but I just can't. I just really couldn't do it. But I don't eat any tomatoes because of that, and I love a fresh tomato out of the garden, sliced and salted, and just eat it, but I can't.
So tomatoes, cooked tomatoes combined with cheese, so pizza, lasagna, all that stuff, that gives me wicked heartburn. So I'll eat it.
Does me.
Yeah, but you have to, if you get the right enzyme, you can prepare for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because spaghetti is something we have here at my house, once a month. And I'll do the meatballs and the spaghetti sauce. But
Pasta.
boy, that sent me.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt you.
It sent me that's what made me have to go get my gallbladder out, because
Pasta.
I ate some of that and I didn't eat the noodles. It was just the meatballs and the spaghetti sauce, and I was sick all night.
What kind of pain
sick.
is it? What kind of pain is gallbladder pain?
It was up underneath my right breast, but it made me nauseated. I was very nauseated. And then, wrapped around underneath my right breast under my rib cage, and then it actually went around to my back too.
And
but
you
nausea,
knew what it was. Yeah.
I knew what it was. Because I had struggled with it all day, even though I hadn't had anything. Like, I remember being sick and I hadn't ate anything. So yeah, I mean, and within 2 weeks, I was scheduled and had my gallbladder out.
Yeah, and insurance covered it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I had already seen the doctor, a couple years before, and knew that my gallbladder was only functioning at 20%.
Yeah.
But I was controlling it with my diet while, and then it was like, I'm not functioning anymore, so we got it out.
Okay, so, I could spend all day chatting, but my son has a meeting, and I can see he sent me a text message, and I'm like, oh, because now he needs his office back, because he works for the government, but because he's tech, he works from home. Yeah. Lucky kids.
Well, and I have a meeting at 1. I have to go to Little Rock for a job I will be getting. I'll be working for the consult.
What job?
It'll be data entry for like the revenue office. Where you go get your license and your titles and whatever. I'll be hired on as extra help, and I don't know how to data entry, but they're going to train me.
Perfect.
And so I'll get in out, and it's a part-time job. I have to work a minimum of 20, but I can work up to 40.
Fantastic. That's great.
And and as of now, we kind of need the extra income, and my boys are growing up, and they don't have to have me home all the time. So
mine are 20 and 22. My kids are 20 and 22.
Well, my oldest will be 21 in December, and my youngest will be 17 in October. So
we're getting there.
I'm getting there, and I don't know. I'm kind of excited, to be perfectly honest with you.
Me too. Me too.
I mean, I love my kids, and I've loved raising them and being at home with them, but yet I'm ready for the next step.
Yeah, it gets to a time. See, when I grew up, when you were 18, 19, you left home, right? You just did. That's what you did, right?
Yeah.
But today, kids can't do that. It's too expensive. You can't just get a friend and rent a place. It's not the same.
No, and my oldest will start a new job on Monday. He just got back. Well, he joined the Army Reserve, so he went through basic training from November till about the end of April.
That's awesome. So I wanted Sebastian. That's awesome. I wanted my son to do that. I took him down to the office once.
Yeah. That was hard for Mama to watch him walk out and leave and go about 6 hours away from home and not have his mama.
So good for them. So good for them.
But I'm proud.
Yes, I would love that That's great. That's fantastic. It's going to build him into an amazing human.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome.
It has already. So, yeah.
I want to thank you. Thank you so much for being so open and encouraging. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me on. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it too. Thank you.
And thank you to all of our listeners for joining us on this landmark episode of Bariatric Expert. It's number 10, episode 10. So stay tuned for more insightful conversations and transformative stories. Take a moment to download the Bariatric Expert app for free meal plans and recipes. See you next time. Bye for now.